Hello, hello. Late Friday night's Banter Blitz is here next episode. So, the show during which I usually play against premium members of Chess24. To become a premium member, you need a premium subscription, and you have a great chance to go premium for 15% off using the code Andrey. So, you can see the spelling here. All right, so let's get to play. As usual, just let me know what is going on to the sound and picture. If you can hear and see me well, will be nice to understand that. And we already have a lot of challenges, so let's pick somebody whom I never played before, if it is possible, of course, because there are so many guys attending each and every show, which is, of course, just great. Stream Perfect says, X, I'm really happy that you solved your internet problems. I'm really happy you're back. So, these guys... Chess Peggle. Accept. So it says we've never played. Let's play. Let's play then. Starting with black pieces. E4, E5. So probably let's try something that I play not so often. D6, Philidor defend. Oh, H3, seriously. Didn't expect that. So instead of playing D4, this avoids bishop G4, but it looks too passive. Well, probably doesn't make white's position worse, of course, but now it's definitely harder to fight for the initiative with white. Alright. D4. I think I can take on E4 after this. Why not? Interesting. So what do we have here? It's sort of betrothed defense if I play D5, by the way, but with the move H3. And it's not clear who benefits from it. So let's play D5 anyway. It was, of course, absolutely playable just to go back to F6, I guess. But I like the idea of playing this position as well. Queen F3. Attacking F7 and knight on E4. Let's castle. Let's pretend the knight isn't hanging on E4. I was trying to sacrifice that pawn. Probably it was possible just to capture it, by the way. Okay, knight C6 looks interesting. Just simple F6 looks quite promising now. Maybe F6 after Queen F3 was also playable, but there was Queen H5 checks. Now there is no check, so probably this F6 could be played. This forces the knight to G4, I guess. Now I can play knight C6 with a tempo, attacking D4. Again, if white wants, he can take on E4, takes E4, F5, Queen D5 check, King H8. Then probably knight E3 protecting that queen. Because now I guess I can play F5. The point of that, now I control E5 square. So there is no comeback to E5 with the knight. If knight goes to E3, okay. It occupies quite a bad position there. Limiting the own bishop C1, for example. I don't know what... knight to H2. Probably intending to bring the knight to f3 at some point. Very original way of playing this in general. But I have a feeling that white will sacrifice a lot of space to improve his pieces. It also takes time, so at the moment I think I can improve my knight easily. So just like this, knight e7, knight g6, then maybe even to h4. This is just a big blunder. Okay. So let's take the bush. What was that? Lack of concentration or what? Don't know. What was the main reason of this huge blunder? Bishop f4 was probably playable. Now I simply have extra material and no compensation whatsoever. Rook d1. Now I can take on f2 if I want, by the way. I can also take on h2 and take on f2. I think both are playable. Let's do this. Simple bishop h2, I guess. King takes, knight takes f2, attacking the rook and the bishop simultaneously. I can also add queen d6 if I want. I guess just knight d3 is a good option, right? Knight to g6 now, intending to bring it to f4, attacking the queen and the rook. Another tempo move. Queen d6 is still possible. I can play f4, bringing the bishop to f5. I think after this, it is a good idea for me to activate my bishop to complete the development and to win the rook on d3. Exactly on d3, of course, I will win the exchange, but since I already have the extra minor piece, it will be the whole rook. Now it's time to get to the king, if my opponent gives me a chance to do that. Knight to e3, alright, I guess it's not necessary to protect d5. Just good enough. And I guess takes with the pawn, right? To promote it as soon as possible. And checkmate, next move. Checkmate on f2. Yep. Okay. So everything is clear here. I mean, as for the main reason why I lost the game. But let's have a look at this. So h3. That's interesting. So maybe I could have played even f5 here. I don't know. It's usually, well, it's not a good idea to play f5 if you don't control d4 square sufficiently. But here, white actually spend the time on h3 moves, so maybe f5 is also an interesting idea. Just most likely a playable move. But okay, knight f6 can't be bad. d4. Here I could have captured on d4, I think. And after queen d4, just this line with the queen d4 against Philidor, but with the h3 move. Which might be not that bad for white, to be honest. Alright, knight e4 looks just okay. Bishop d3. And here if black doesn't want anything, he can go back to f6 with the knight. But I wanted to actually achieve something more from that. And I'm not sure that queen f3 is great. it looks playable. So castles, if bishop takes c4, d4, and queen e4, I guess I can play something like, I don't know, f6 is not very cool because of queen e5 check followed by knight f7. But I can do something like queen e7, creating threat of f6, so queen on e4 is under pressure. I can also add my rook to e8, and then f6 will be a real threat. So I think I have some compensation here, but white decided not to take. And that was probably the first inaccuracy, because after that I just solved my problems gaining tempi. Here was another interesting idea to take. Another interesting option because of this check. King goes away, and knight goes to e3, protecting the queen, so there is no bishop h2. But once again, I don't think this position is good for white. I have a lot of different ideas, including f4, followed by f3. Maybe I can take on d4 simply. Also great move. So if queen takes d4, I have bishop h2 check, and so forth. So after that, I already like my position. So I have no problems. This great knight on e4 is supported. There is no chance for white to occupy e5. And, well, just simply very pleasant. Probably it's not winning for black. So, for example, here, responsible to play bishop f4. And I think position is still somewhere around equality. Much more pleasant for black to play, but still playable. Bishop g5 loses a piece and loses the game. Okay, let's go further. Who's there? Dr. Balu, I think we already played. But it says we never played. So maybe there is something wrong. No, against autograph it says we've played. So I don't know. It's very strange. In any case, let's start with Dr. Balu. The next will be Bobo. So 3 games against the guys who've never played. And then we come back to normal order of challenges. Again, black pieces. Yeah, it says we never played. That is very strange. Because I do remember we've played. Or maybe I was just reading your posts in chat. Okay. So what is that? G3. Trying to force Catalan, most likely. So let's play Catalan. Why not? Knight f3. Now I have a chance to play bishop b4 and then bishop e7. I also can play bishop e7 immediately. Let's try the one with the check on b4. So bishop goes to d2. I just play bishop e7. And this is just the different version of this close Catalan. Bishop on d2 isn't that great because it grabs the square from the own knight. In the vast majority of cases, it is just forced to search for a better position. Right here we play c6. Queen c2. Now there are 2 options to play b6 or knight e7 first. Let's play b6. Slightly more dynamic, just intended to bring the bishop to a6, attacking c4. For instance here. So c4 is under pressure already. Want to take it with the bishop. Oh, rook d1, giving me a chance just to take on c4. Come on. It can't be that great for white. So bishop c4, knight e5, bishop a6 even, knight c6, knight c6. Okay, so after bishop c4, maybe there is bishop b8 first. Yeah, this can be the idea. And then if I take with the rook, then knight e5, creating sort of taking the bishop and actually knight c6 fork. Nice. Bishop c4, bishop b8, queen b8, knight e5, bishop a6, knight takes c6. Queen c7 or queen b7 takes c7, queen e7 with a complete equality, I think. Alright. I'll just play knight d7. How was your week, Andrey? All good? Asks Kramnik student. Uh, I think this week was already much better than the previous one. The previous one was really tough. This one is kind of better, so the things are getting better slowly. $95. Okay. So if we take d takes e5, now goes to d7, cd5, cd5, e4. We can play rook c8. I think everything is fine there. We can play rook c8 immediately. I mean, it's also a possibility. Right, let's take it. Let's just check if it's really good for me or not. Knight to d7. More or less forced. I don't think knight g4 was possible. Now I have some pressure on this pawn e5. And at some point I can even try like g7, g5 and grabs the pawn next move. If queen goes to a4, there is knight c5, attacking the queen and protecting the bishop. And if queen takes c6, right, I just play rook to c8. And e4 immediately. This is probably a mistake, because now I can take on c4 with the bishop. Takes on c4, if e d5, then bishop d5. So b3 most likely. Bishop goes to, say, a6, queen takes c6, rook c8, queen a4, knight c5. Yeah, it should be just almost winning for black. So let's take it. It was necessary to start with cd5 and then to play a4. Now I guess, well, I can even improve this. Bishop b5, if a4, bishop a6, queen c6 isn't possible because I trapped the queen there. But I guess if queen gets to a4 and then to a3, I'm also not that bad in that position. So yeah, let's just go to a6. Because after bishop b5, it's possible to play knight c3, in fact, exerting some pressure on my bishop. By the way, after queen c6, I have another smart idea to start with the knight c5, just controlling a4. And I don't see how white is going to save the queen after that, because if e takes d5, just play rook c8, doesn't help. Rook on d1 is hitting, the knight is still on b1, I mean. Feels like I just trapped the queen there. Right? Or no? Let's see. Nice. So queen has no moves. That is what happens when you start active operations, having pieces like knight b1 and rook on a1. Black is simply much better developed and coordinated. So, queen c8 is more or less forced, I guess. Queen takes c8, alright, alright. Or, no, not with the bishop, of course, with the queen. So, sort of compensation for white. Sort of compensation. It's only rook and the minor piece, but look, these pieces are not in the game at the moment. So it should be just winning for black. Okay, let's take. Oh, by the way, bishop takes f2. Sort of motive, maybe not possible right now. Very soon it may become an interesting idea. Okay, so he decided not even to take on d5. Maybe I should just protect it. Queen e6, let's say. Yeah, queen e6. Why not? Maybe not the best position for my queen, but for now, I guess it's okay. So now let's protect d5. Let's say with this move. Yeah. All right, it's time to activate the rook. Oh my goodness. That's just a blunder. Oh, that was very bad. Hello, my bad shape. Have not seen for, I don't know, several minutes. Wanted to say for ages. Oh my god. I was so winning and now I'm just misplaying it. Shit. That is just so bad. I have no idea what to do here. I think the best chance for me is just to take here. Oh. This gives me a chance, maybe. No. No chances there. Oh, yeah. That was really bad. I deserve just losing this game for sure. But I will probably win this on time. Oh, just look at this rook d8. That was so stupid. After all this normal play, I just play this rook d8. Amazingly stupid. Yeah. So many different moves. For example, to start with bishop b3, for instance. And then to play this. But rook d8, come on. Alright, for white, what to do to improve this? Of course, this is obviously bad. But cd5 was interesting. In which case, e4 is unclear. So it is something very typical for close Catalan. And here, I guess I have some ideas connected with just rook c8 move. So if queen goes to a4, just play knight c5, attacking the queen. And when queen goes here, do I have something or not? So I can't really take on e4, unfortunately, because my bishop on a6 is hanging. But I can start with bishop e2, tempo move, which actually gives me some extra material, I guess. Yeah, so this is not a good line for white. So maybe queen to d2, or maybe knight to c3 even. Knight to c3 is a move here. In which case, well, position is unclear. I can probably do something like d4, sacrificing the pawn, typical thing, then queen c7 followed by knight takes c5. And this maybe even leads to equality, but nothing more than that for black. So I don't know, maybe... No, if I give white a chance to open up this long diagonal, it will be just bad for me. So yeah, I guess just rook c8, knight to c3, something like, say, d4, rook d4, queen c7, attacking e5. Queen to a4 now. Deserves attention or not? Hard to say immediately. So maybe knight c5 now. And then g5, queen e5, something like that. So white has extra pawn, but position should be more or less balanced. Yeah, I guess knight c5, intending to actually get to d3 at some point, and so forth. Yeah, something like that. But what white did, of course, was completely wrong. So after this, knight c5, queen is trapped. Okay, let's go further. Here is Bobo. Accept. White pieces for the first time today. e4. e5. So, Ruy Lopez. c3. g6, okay. Castles. Let's play this. Bringing the knight to f1 as quick as possible. Then probably to g3, maybe to e3, it depends. We'll see what black is going to do. Rook e8. Okay. Knight f1. Was possible to bring the bishop to c2 immediately, but I want to provoke black playing something like knight a5, in which case the knight goes away from the center and d5 becomes harder to play. h6 stops me from playing either bishop g5 or knight g5. Very smart move, but this weakens g6. So let's just remember this. Now I have a chance to play a4. I have a chance to play a3, trying to save my bishop on this diagonal, but at the very least black always has this bishop e6 move. Don't know. Knight e3 followed by knight e5 doesn't look very inspiring. Let's start with this move. So if I play knight e3, I mean, just plays bishop e6, controlling that square, or maybe even knight a5, just kicking my bishop away first, and then something like bishop e6. Okay, he grabs the space with each and every move, which is very good. Let's try something like this. Never played this before. But that is one of the ideas behind having the pawn on a3 to support this b4 move. Now I can probably exert additional pressure on c5 pawn with the help of bishop e3. Or maybe I can just leave this position as it is at the moment and focus on something else. Well, let's start with the bishop e3. This looks very natural follow-up of the b4 move. Just to try to clarify the pawn structure, maybe. So after b4, at some point my bishop can come back to b3. But right now I want to actually complete the development and to come up with some objects to attack, because at the moment it's not clear what to attack in black's position. So h6 is vulnerable. I can probably just touch it with the queen d2 move. But let's start with this move. I like the idea of bishop b3 after knight went to d7, because now d5 is a hole in black's position, and I also exert pressure on f7 pawn. So now queen d2 may become even more dangerous, because king h7 isn't possible. Pawn on f7 will be hanging. These boring Spanish positions. Ha ha ha. Boring. They're not boring, they're winning. Bishop f7. And bishop to d5, right? Or bishop g6, let's see if this works. I don't think it works. No, it doesn't work, of course. obviously. So bishop d5. An extra pawn for nothing. Extra pawn. Alright, right. Now what? Knight g3, h4, h5 as soon as possible. Yeah, why not? Looks very good. I can probably take on c5 now. At the same time, I just want to save this bishop on the board. On the other hand, material is material after all. Now let's take here. Yeah. So after knight d7, black's position became not that cool, I would say. So after this bishop b3, I think the only normal move was to protect the pawn f7 with the help of rook f8, immediately preparing king h7 and maybe f5 at some point. But with such a bishop on b3, I guess f5 is also like suicidal at some point. All right. ED5. Wow. This gives me this opportunity. And now what? D5 drops. Not very pleasant. But I can play c4, sacrificing the exchange. I think it is completely justified. Let's do it. Maybe I don't even have to sacrifice the exchange. After e4, I can play knight d4, by the way. And if bishop g4, then knight g5. Yeah, very nice position. Look at this pawns. d3, c4, d5, c6. Such a nice snake, I would say. Of pawns just controlling a lot. Yeah, bishop g4 is just decisive positional mistake, I think. After that, h takes g5, queen g4. Look, black's pawns are just complete mess, and light squares are completely weak. It's over. Are you using Windows Vista, Ostrovskiy? The question, no. Windows 8. So, queen takes g4. 8.1 to be precise, or something like that. So, yeah, bishop takes g5, knight takes f5, whatever. So, what was wrong with black's strategy here? I think that c5, well, it should be okay, of course. But after b4 and knight c6 and bishop b3, probably there should have been something else. I mean, maybe just to take on b4. Yeah, just cb4 to forget about this vulnerability on c5. And if I take on b4, black can even think of playing d5 already with the counterplay, a serious one. So maybe it's better for me to take with the c pawn, and if d5, just to try to ignore it somehow, maybe just to play bishop b3 with the idea of just bringing the bishop to d5. But it doesn't work because of knight c3, I guess. So maybe queen to d5. Something like this. Unclear position. Attacking the knight. Another knight. Pawn on f7. Is it winning for white or not? I don't know. Maybe yes. Maybe yes. If queen takes, then bishop takes, attacking both knights. And if d4, let's say, then bishop goes back to d2. And now if bishop goes to e6, right, position is more or less balanced, I guess. Maybe it's not very pleasant to play with black, in fact. But who knows, after exchange of this light square bishops, black will have some roots for the knight f6, so d7, b6, a4. Black has slightly more space here. The only problem is, of course, this awful bishop, but, well, it's manageable. Yeah, that was interesting because after knight d7, I have very pleasant setup. I just play bishop b3, targeting this guy, and yeah, it's not clear how to improve the position because if rook goes to f8, preparing king h7, I think I can have this very nice h4 idea, followed by quick h5. So the knight is kind of pinned to c5 pawn. If black takes on b4, I can think of playing h5, just intermediate move to prevent knight f6. And this threat of h takes g6 is really annoying. And if black plays something like g5, come on, it's just awful. So all light squares are weak. Now I can take on b4, and I have very pleasant position. At the very least, I think I'm just much better. So knight d7 was probably a mistake. But of course, king h7 is a serious mistake. I just took the pawn. There were no compensation. Okay, so let's go to the normal order of challenges and accept the first challenger, a Kramnik student. I've seen people get 2 games in one banter, yes, but it's rare. Yeah, of course. It's a strange idea to play one opponent several times within one show. I mean, there are so many guys eager to play. Would be strange. So, what do we have here? We have Scotch again. Typical opening if it comes to playing against Kramnik student with black. So let's keep playing what I've played previously. So bishop a3, okay. As far as I remember, queen g5 is recommended here. Might be wrong though. Okay, let's try queen to g5. Now what? Queen sees c1. Check. I don't think I can play queen b2 here because in this case bishop takes g7, rook g8, bishop f6. This bishop will be just gorgeous there. Okay, I win the exchange, but it doesn't really help me. So let's take here and take on f8. By the way, after bishop a3, I guess simple d6 is also quite playable. Alright, now I have some problems with my pieces, of course, and I have to solve them quickly. So the main problem is, of course, this pawn on e5, which limits my activity. So it will be natural just to undermine it somehow. Do I have a chance to do this right now? Yeah, I can play d6 if I want. I can also try f6. Which is better? I have no idea. So let's just try, f6. It feels just slightly more solid. Takes with the rook, I guess. f3. All right. Now d5 or d6. I guess d6. Just avoiding weakening of the position too much. Now I think to consolidate it, I need to bring my bishop to f5, and then king to d7, and then c6, c5 at some point. So let's try to do this. All right, so king d7, right? Yes. Interesting position. So rook e1. I guess it's time to take. And to play, let's say, c5. So now I can try something like a4, creating a weakness. Either on c4 or on b3. Another plan is to provoke a weakness on the king side, but it will be quite hard to do. Alright, at the moment I think rook should go to g6. Just a tempo move. And now I guess a4. Rook to d1 was played. Alright. My rook on g6 is somewhat misplaced at the moment, but maybe I can improve it somehow. Have to be careful about this potential knight takes c5, so once the king goes away there is knight c5 threat. Let's bring the king immediately to c6, or maybe just rook to f8 instead. Let's try rook to f8 first, attacking f3. I have to be slightly faster. Spending a lot of time. Now say h6. Stopping the knight from going to g5. Now probably king c6 is more or less forced. And it would be nice to bring my pieces to the e-file. Complicated position. Not so easy to play, I guess, with both colors. Alright. Taking the risks. Let's take it. Now let's say what? Rook to b8 to start with. Now I guess rook to e6 can be played, if I'm not mistaken. Just exactly what I wanted to do, to bring my rook to the e-file, but maybe there is something tactical, but I can't see it. Right now it feels like I control the situation. Alright. Let's bring the another rook here. Okay, what about this check? So now rook e2 or just take on d3, I guess both are very promising. Let's just take it. And go here. Now here. Have much more space. Have much more space. Let's try to use it. Okay, what's going on here? I guess it's lost. For white now. I mean, absolutely lost. Yeah. Interesting game. Interesting game. I guess b4 was strange decision. So gave me some tempi. Instead of playing b4, I would have recommended to just keep these pawns as they are here and to try to activate the pieces along the e-file. So at the moment when my king is on c6, I can't fight for the e-file. So maybe it was a good idea just to put the knight on f2 now. It's possible because I can't play g5, my rook just stops it. There is a threat of rook e7. Most likely I have to play something like, I don't know, rook f7 or maybe rook to f6. In this case, I guess it's okay just to do this. Rook to e7, rook to f7, another rook to e1. And one has much more active rooks. Of course, I can try something like this, but it is also double-edged after rook f7, cd5, or maybe just to include this move first, and then to take here, knight takes d5, something like king c4. Yeah, position remains unclear, I mean, but white has good chances as well. It's just knight f2 fighting for the file. b4 is the step in the wrong direction, in my opinion, because it simplifies my access to c4 pawn. It actually creates a weakness on c4. That is what I wanted to do with the help of my a5, a4. And after that, it was just easy for me to activate my rooks along the e-file. And I'm already better, I believe. So maybe slightly better, but still, I'm just grabbing the e-file because I do believe this was not great for white. So I took here, I just attacked the pawn. Maybe something like knight d4 should have been played with the idea of knight e6. But I also have very quick access to a2 pawn, so should be also very promising for black at very least. You know, but knight d4 was, in my opinion, much better than knight d2. So instead of passive defense to fight for opponent's pawns, so trying to create a pass pawn as well, and so forth. You know, maybe it's okay for white in general. So knight e2 was bad. After king b4, have a lot of space, and white's pieces are passive. So here again, it was necessary to take on d5. Maybe this c5, d5 is not the best plan. Maybe just king a3 was much better for me. Just grabbing that a pawn and trying to promote my a4. But after that, well, here I think black is already winning. Yeah, so extra pawn, more space, there is no counterplay and so forth. Okay. Let's continue. The next is pawn holder. All right, now I have to be really focused. Really focused. And again, with black pieces. I think I always play against pawn holder with black. Just like against shelling with white. So I have only two ideas about that. There is a bug in the system, or it's just an artificial intelligence that actually remembers the typical choices and then just repeats all this. Do know. So Italian and knight to c3. All right. So in fact, what do we have here is 4 knights. Okay, I guess it makes sense for me to play h6, preventing bishop to g5. And bishop to d5. Interesting. Interesting idea. So the concrete idea behind this move is just to grab the knight on c6 and then take my pawn on e5. It's okay. It's understandable, I mean. If I play d6, there is bishop takes c6. I believe that is the plan. bc6 and d4. ed4, knight e4, attacking c6. It's kind of damaging my pawn structure and grabbing some central control. So can I just protect e5 with the queen e7 right now? Then probably bishop to e3. As simple as that. Bishop to d6 can be also an idea here for black. But then d4 should be considered. That might be very unpleasant. Let's try this queen e7, I don't know. Is it good or not, but looks not that bad. In this case, I can take with this pawn. Now we have something very similar to exchanged variation of Ruy Lopez. Feels like that at least. And bishop d2 looks like a misclick, because I believe that bishop e3 was much more active and much more interesting hands. Queen e2. Okay, let's grab the space on the king side. We want to attack there, right? Let's say this way. That was probably stupid. Or maybe not. Maybe it's okay. So yeah, white can play h3 now. Alright, this move gives me a chance to play this move. And again, probably I just underestimate white's play and don't really get the ideas. So bishop c5, of course. Most likely, it was better for me just to start with bishop d6 to save that bishop on the board. Because now, white improves his position. But this queen a7 is not necessarily that dangerous. So I can probably just play queen to e7 or queen to d6 to know which is better. Let's play queen e7. Yeah. And now queen a7 is already a threat, so let's just play this. King b8. Wow. Interesting game. So I'm actually waiting for some weakening on the king side. At the moment it looks very safe. But once white plays with the pawn there, h3, g3 or something, I will have a hook, so I can bring my pawns to motion there and actually open some files, if I'm lucky enough. Knight c4. Guess it makes sense to overprotect e5. Now say h5. g3, wow. This weakens the position. Interesting. I want to save that knight somewhere around opponent's king. Queen c5 is nice, but I don't think it gives me anything concrete. So let's just continue with this. Straightforward play. Just going to open up a file and checkmate him. Maybe that was too early. I don't know. Let's see. Rook h3 deserved attention. Rook h3 was much better than this move. But okay. Unfortunately, I don't have bishop f3. Would be nice. But after king g1, rook h2, queen e7, there is no checkmate. So I have to take here. Maybe now just bishop f3. Yeah, that is just too much. Yeah. Oh, very pity, very pity. I think I was so close to winning it. I don't know why didn't I play rook h3 here. It was so great position. So first of all, okay, it's interesting to check rook h2 immediately. But I think it's not correct. So queen h7, king here, so what? There is no follow-up. So just rook h3 pinning the pawn. It was so simple to find. I mean, rook h3, multi-purpose move. So I pin the pawn g3. And if g takes f4, it's clear. I just take the queen. I prepare queen to h7. Simple attack against h2. My goodness, it was so winning. Oh, really. And the point here that if knight g1, then rook h2 wins. So takes, king h2, queen h7. Goodbye. Knight h3, the only move, queen h3 check, king here, queen g2. Shit, that is really just a shame not to find such a simple move like rook h3. Oh my goodness, yeah, really amazing. All right. Oh, rook h3, just win in, come on. Okay, no problems, happens. I guess white could have closed this position completely. So when I played h4, let's have a look at this. When I played h4, there was a possibility just to play this, and after bishop e6 to play g4. But I guess I can take on g3. All right, so takes. There should be something, but maybe there is nothing. If I play knight f2, rook f2, if I play g2, king g2, so what? If knight f4, then queen g3. Yeah, so there is nothing. But probably I can play this positionally, like bishop e6, and if g4, I just take here, takes here, knight can come back to f4, so white's position is full of different holes. I guess black should be better here. All right. In any case, after knight d2, that was possible. I mean, I played rook h7. Probably I should have moved my bishop already here just to prevent this f3, like a prophylaxis. When I played rook h7, and here it was possible. So in my opinion, it's not that simple to evaluate this position. Okay, I have this square on f4, but position is completely closed there, so everything will go to the center. So knight will go to b3, then probably white will have a chance to prepare d4 gradually. White can also start his own attack on the king side. On the queen side. All right. Okay. Not very pleasant thing, but let's keep playing. Butterfly is the next. And black pieces. Why did I take with the knight? I don't know. I have no idea. f3, all right. So what I wanted to try here is just to play bishop f5. In fact, not to help white with the development. Yeah, it's kind of risky to have such a bishop on e4 there, but I think Schelling will disagree because it is very similar to Caro-Kann. I guess black should be fine. Oh, g4. Okay, I'll just play bishop g6. I don't believe in this move, so g4 is just too much. Weakens a lot. But who knows? Maybe I'm just a very bad expert in these positions. But I think after e6, this position looks very safe for black. There is queen h4 threat, by the way. Okay, let's fix this pawn. h4 becomes a weakness. Dark squares in general are so weak in white's camp. So extra pawn, by the way. Should be just lost for white, in fact. Let's look at this square g3. I can put my bishop on g3, but does it give me anything? I don't know. So there is a trick. If I take on f3, then after knight f3, there is a sort of bishop e6, fe6, and takes my bishop on g6. But I can probably actually force it. Say e takes f3, knight takes f3, knight e7, bishop e6, castle's long. Bishop goes to h3 most likely. Just rook e8 with the tempo, king b8. Have much better development, I think. This opening of the position will be quite favorable. So let's take it. Queen takes f3. Okay, there is no bishop e6 threat, so we can just complete the development easily. Yeah, I think knight f3 was the only chance. Was the only real chance for white. I can still misplay it. That's not a problem for me. For example, this knight b6 wasn't probably a good idea, because the knight doesn't really go to d5. So it was better for me just to play e5, opening up a position. Bishop b3, yeah, correct. Now there is an idea of playing a5, a6. Let's go this way. So knight b6, as we can see, wasn't a good idea. Just helps white slightly. All right. Don't really understand the idea behind this check. Actually, I wanted my king to be on b8. Here it's much safer. Where to bring the knight? If knight d5, then c4. Knight f4 takes f4, takes f4, c5. Unclear. Unclear. So knight e7 or knight c8? Well, both should be just okay. But I really want my knight somewhere in the center. So knight d5, in fact, if c4, then knight b4. And if c5, alright, just knight e3 or something. Yeah, let's bring the knight to the center. Okay. So yeah, if c4, I just bring the knight to b4, this looks potentially just devastating. And if bishop d5, okay, I have pair of bishops, come on. Just have pair of bishops. And still extra pawn, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, and this ugly king on f2, so a lot of factors saying that should be just a winning position for black. But I can still misplay it. That's just a normal stuff for me to misplay winning positions. So let's try to be precise. So you want to open up the F file. I have no idea. I have no idea what am I doing here. Just trying to create some threats. And this actually should pay off one day. Now this might be just dangerous, what I do here. So where is the checkmate? Oops. I was very close to lose it even. Can you imagine? After such an opening and after getting such a great position, I was very close to lose it. I don't know what was I doing there. Yeah, that was strange. So here, I guess, if you play normal chess, something like f6 should be played. So if g takes f6, then g takes f6, improving the situation in the center, supporting this central pawn, then bringing the bishop to e4 and playing along the g file and winning the game. So why did I play this rook h to f8? I wanted to open up the f file to recapture with the rook, but it looks like a patter play, like creating one move threats. It's not how chess works. It's not how chess works. As for white, I don't know. Maybe this g4 was too much. I don't think that g4 is correct. I guess taking on e4 is interesting. Or maybe queen e2 immediately. I don't know why didn't why play this queen e2. Just attacking the pawn. Okay, I can take on d4 in fact, but there is bishop b3. I can take even on b2. Yeah, I can go greedy. I have no idea. All right. Maybe f takes e4 followed by knight f3. Also possible. Yeah, I'm not an expert here. I'm just playing according to my feelings, my intuition, and this time it was okay. So I guess this position is just strategically lost for white. Simply. After ef3, I guess the only way to fight was to take with the knight. And now if I play knight d7, which I actually wanted to play, bishop takes e6 is possible, with the idea to grab this bishop g6. So I wanted to castle here, and after bishop goes to h3, to place it like this, then king to b8, and to play this position with materially balanced, but I guess the open position should favor black here because of this king on f2. That was the point. All right, shelling forward, accept. Did you see this? I'm actually playing with black. That's amazing. And Shalin is here. Okay. Let us focus. Queen's Indian or Catalan? Close Catalan, most likely. So we have this tabia of close Catalan. Now I think I can play bishop a6 immediately because the knight is already on c3, exerting some pressure. Because if knight is still on b1, usually it is possible to protect the pawn with the knight e2 at the same time, preparing this e4. And the bishop on a6 appears not that efficient. But when the position of the knight is already defined, it's okay to play bishop a6. So now the pawn on c4 is under constant pressure. White should understand that, well, I can grab it if I want. So now I guess just rook c8 should be playable. And it takes here. Maybe h6 was slightly more accurate. Just covering g5 square in advance. But okay. This should be also okay for black. So now I can take on e5 if I want and put my knight on d7. Should be just all right. Okay, it's in fact not that dangerous for black. There is no f5 move because e5 is constantly weak. So right now I think I can simply play queen c7, so I have extra pawn. I have this d3 square, so I can bring my knight to d3 at some point. So for example, right now I can play knight c5 with the idea of knight to d3. I can start with the rook d8, I guess. I don't know which one is better. Which one is better? Let's say knight to c5 immediately. And now rook to d8, I guess. Alright, alright. Just improving the position move by move. So the main drawback of having this position with white is of course the bishop g2, which has no clear perspectives. Okay, queen f2. Now I can bring my knight to d3 if I want. Do I want it? Why not? Do I achieve anything there? I'm not sure. I can simply grab the pawn, by the way. So cb3, ab3, rook d1, forces knight to d1. Ah, this looks good for me. Let's take it finally. I'm sorry. It's important not to misplay this position, because it's time for revenge. Say bishop here. Now I can take on b3, right? Feels like I have 3 extra pawns there. Let's grab it. And now I think it's time to bring those pawns to motion, right? This way or a5 or b5 even. You know, let's start with the c5 move. Three connected pawns. Look nice. So now c4. Right, right. Supporting both the bishop and the knight. And opening my bishop. Opening my dark squared bishop. Now it's going to b4, maybe to c5. You know where. But first I think we can do this. Getting closer and closer. Okay, I'll take with the pawn. To control d5 square. Okay, bishop c5, I guess. Should be considered, or just a5 to start with. Or does bishop take c2? A lot of good moves. Okay, the knight is going to f4, alright? Right. Let us just take it. I guess it's potentially very annoying piece, but what am I doing? Why did I do this, in fact? I don't understand. Again, I'm just starting misplaying it somehow. It's amazing. It's unbelievable. I just gave my opponent a great counterplay. Yeah. That is not how chess works, Andrey. Why did I take that shitty knight? My god. Maybe it's still winning, of course, but why? I mean, why did I do this? Amazing. Just amazing. Won it. Finally. Finally. Of course, I was winning all the game after the opening, but then at some point I started playing some bullshit. I think after this, 95, d5, and 97, well, like already has no problems. But okay, I actually created the problems to myself. So in this position, I just have 2 extra pawns for no compensation. Queen b2, and maybe this c4 was the first step in the wrong direction. So knight d4 deserves serious attention here. Just bringing the knight to the center. There is still no counterplay, so you've something like f5. But no, here f5 is possible. To know. Okay, c4 was completely okay. Then I started doing some bullshit. So queen d7, knight here. So now white's only kind of threat is just f5. I played b5, f5. Yeah, maybe here it was necessary just to take. I don't know, why didn't I take actually? It just takes, bishop f5. There is no play. I mean, it's winning for black. Okay, that was my problem. I just started misplaying it, especially after that. Knight e2, bishop takes e2, just amazing bullshit. Giving white real counterplay. So how to play this correctly? Okay, there are several ways of doing it. For example, just play a5 here. I don't know. Knight to f4 and probably bishop to c5. Should be still okay for black. I mean, if bishop h3, bishop takes c4, and then bishop f5. If knight d3, I take with the queen. If bishop c5, I just take with the knight. Everything is protected. Yeah. But I gave white a great chance. And I was about to lose it. So after rook... Mark is crying, come on. So after rook d6. I was about to take on d6. So where was that move? Yeah, rook d6 was a very good move. You know, I was about to take here. I mean, and after that, to play this position. But of course, white should win it. I mean, bishop stops all the pawns using one diagonal. There is no chance for me to be in time. This pawn decides. But then I noticed this knight a5 move, and surprisingly, I'm kind of still protecting everything important. So probably there is still no decisive continuation for white. So I have a threat of c2. I actually expected something like queen d1 here, creating sort of bishop e6, rook d8, and so forth. That was really unclear to me. But maybe I still can play c2. Maybe. I'm no longer that sure about this position in general. So queen d1 deserved attention, I guess. Okay, let's go further. Autograph is the next one. I guess we will play 2-3 more games, 3 maximum. We'll see. All right. Probably Schelling just didn't expect that he would play with white pieces. That was probably the reason. Or maybe that is just our karma. So the one who plays with black wins. Didn't know. Alright, e6. Not the best move, I guess. Bishop g4 is very good. But okay. c5 is playable here. Just want to play with the isolated pawn if my opponent takes on c4. Having slightly more active setup. No, he doesn't want. He doesn't want. So maybe I can just play c5 now. Castles. Castles. How is it usually played? Something like b4 right now. Supporting all the pawns there. Or maybe bishop f4 is better. Or even h3, or even bishop d3. There are so many moves. Bishop d7 is kind of passive. I guess black's best play is based on knight e4. Now I can control this square. Rook to e8. Okay. Castles. So now white has just a lot of space. That's black's problem. It's very hard to find a counterplay. Knight g4 doesn't really create a threat. So maybe the only idea behind it is to try something like e5. But what if I just play h3? Now bishop to f4. Very strong position. Controlling very important diagonal, h2, b8. And h3 helps me because there is no knight h5. I mean, there is a possibility to bring the knight to h5, but then my bishop simply goes to h2. Alright, a6, another weakening of the position. Now I can play knight to a4, go into b6. Black's position is about to collapse. So Black's setup simply makes no sense here. These bishops are very passive, knights passive as well. But maybe this knight a4 gives Black a chance to bring the knight to e4. But then I play knight b6, forcing the rook to a7, extremely ugly position. And then I will deal with that knight. Alright. Rook a7. Okay. Let us prevent knight e4, I guess. That is Black's only active possibility here. So can I just play rook e1? Slightly improving my rook, controlling e4 square. The next step will be something like queen d2, a4, and b5 at some point. That is planned. Let's see if it is possible to implement. I think there is no problem with that, in fact. So let's do it. Knight to g5. All right. So probably I just underestimated this move. Yeah, it was better for me to prevent it, because now I have some problems with my pawn d4. Not very pleasant situation. So I was actually trying to squeeze Black, but after knight g5, it's not that simple. So Black tries to actually exchange his bad bishop, knight, and yeah, a bunch of other pieces. This finally looks like sort of counterplay. So probably I just have to play knight e5 here. I wanted to attack that knight with the a4 b5, but okay, in this situation, I guess it's better to avoid the exchange of that knight g5. So let's bring the knight to e5. Tempo move attacking the bishop. So knight e4 is impossible. I guess knight takes e5 is simply forced. Then I take with the bishop. Still... Oh. What is that? Bishop takes e4. And let's take it. Knight takes e5 is probably planned, I don't know. Otherwise, this knight e4 makes no sense. Yeah. Okay. So now what? Just to take on d5, I guess. Should be possible, right? But then knight goes to g6. Okay, my bishop goes to f3. Takes. Yeah, I think it's better for me in general to save the light square bishop on the board. Bishop e5 is completely playable. Excuse me. So bishop d5 looks just like the way of winning some material. Yeah. And now takes e5. Rook or bishop? Let's take with the rook. Pawn d5 is very weak, but that is not the most important factor here. Rook a7 is simply out of play. So I'm kind of playing with the extra rook at the moment. So I can simply exchange all unnecessary pieces if I want. Like bishop e5 at some point. Then exchanging queens, and it's over with such a rook. Alright, a5 was the possibility to activate it slightly. So let's prevent it forever. If a5, now b5. Yeah, queen e3 wasn't the accurate move. a4 was. Yeah, it's over. It's over. So, come on. That was very passive. That was a problem. First of all, here I believe that bishop g4 is better than e6, but okay, e6 is also just popular opening choice. In this position, a3, d takes c4. I expected that position with the isolated pawn. But okay, bishop e7 is still okay. After c5, well, I think black can try something like knight e4, maybe even immediately. In general, that is the plan. That is the main idea, just to bring the knight there, to activate it, to prevent b4, and so forth. Castling is probably still okay. I should have played most likely something like bishop d3 here, preventing knight e4. After b4, knight e4 was a move. Again, the same idea. But bishop d7 is too passive. Now bishop d3, and I have the overwhelming position. And the rest is just not very interesting, because I developed my pieces on very natural squares. Black has no counterplay. Black has no space. At some point, I will just push my pawns here on the queen side, and that's it. Game over. Okay. Next one is Craig Evans. Let's play. Playing which black have to be really careful, because Craig is really dangerous guy. Oh, knight f3. I expected f4. But okay. He's thinking. Ah, yes. And then knight to d5. Shit. Yeah, exactly. So there is knight b4. I know, but I never ever examined this series, so let's play this move. Now just d6, I guess. All right. Slightly simplify the position. So to play c6 or not? I think I will be forced to do that sooner or later. So let's play c6. Now White's plan is very simple. He will play c3, then bishop goes to f4, attacking my d6, and so on. What could be my counterplay here? I'm not sure I have the one. So probably I just have to exchange this bishop. This looks like an idea for now. So I can grab the one on b2. And the question is to do this right now. Yeah, I guess I have to. So bishop b3, just queen b3. Slightly better position. Okay, let's take it. Let's take it and see what is going on there. Now I can take on b3 to change the situation a bit. So opposite colored bishops gives chances to both black and white. Rook b2, bishop e6, bishop d6, say rook e8, rook takes b7, bishop takes a2. Oh, this is unclear. I don't know. But if I play bishop e5, bishop takes e5, d takes e6. Oh, sorry. D takes e5. Come on. Bishop takes e6 after that. The pawn structure is ugly. Is that an issue or not? I'm not sure. Okay, in any case, let's check it. Exchanging queens or not exchanging queens? Take on d3, bishop f7, rook. Okay. This is fine, I guess. But now I will have to fight for a draw, obviously. Or maybe not. Maybe I will have some activity. It will be probably not enough. But probably just not enough for innocent theories here. Let's bring the rook here. To start with. Why didn't I play rook f7, just exchanging that rook? That's a big question. Big question. Let's grab it. Looks... Oh my god. What am I doing? No, he didn't take on c6, fortunately. Rook c6 was just devastating. Rook a2, rook c7, my god. I just blundered it completely. Yeah. It's getting late. My universal excuse for misplaying positions. Let's go. I guess it's my only chance anyway. Oh, my king is no longer how to call it even, I don't know. Okay, let's prevent the rook going back to b5. I start kind of liking this position. Look, this rook on e5 is kind of limited, which is nice, of course. Which is very nice. So I have some chances, I think, especially after this f4. Let's continue the same strategy. I guess it's okay. Just limiting the rook move by move. Okay, now there is a g4 idea, but it's probably double-edged. So let's play h6. Sort of provoking it. Maybe that is a mistake, maybe not. We will see. Rook b7, g4, g5, right? That is the idea. But I think I'm in time. Oh no, rook b6, it's easier than that. What am I doing? I wanted to play rook e8. My goodness, that is so stupid. I wanted to play rook e8, protecting that pawn. Why the hell I played this rook f8? It's amazing. Amazing crap. No, this game is just super stupid. I have no idea what am I doing here. I mean, just playing random moves. Yeah, I guess it's time to make a draw. Yeah, that was so strange game. I mean, right from the start to the very end, and my son is crying. I have no idea what is going on here. So let's start with this position because the opening was a complete mess. Here, I should have played rook to f7 to exchange this rook because this rook is potentially very dangerous. And now if rook here, I just take it, and play this, and I think I have good chances to survive it. So I just take the pawn on d3 or activate the rook. So one of these two options. Rook after d8 was a quite stupid idea, honestly. So h3 was played. That was very smart. I took on d3, rook to c1. And here I have to play something like rook d6, I think, to protect that pawn, but then rook c7 and white grabs that pawn and so forth. But I played this, and that was almost the decisive mistake, I guess. So rook takes c6 was great. And after rook takes a2, just rook c7 with two rooks collecting everything on the 7th rank. I just missed this completely. And I think I have no defense here. I mean, I'm just not in time to stop those rooks. Alright. Very strange. That white didn't play that. And after that, okay, I'm already not that bad. By the way, white even had a chance to do the same here. I mean, I'm still bad here. Rook d2 was a move. Just bring in the rook to d7. So basic idea for rooks endings, right? Just to have both rooks on the 7th rank. Yeah, even here white is great. But somehow white played king f1, c5. Wasn't late even here, I guess. King f8, still possible here. F3, c4. Still possible here, I guess. I mean, rook d2, rook d7, just in time. But after that, well, it's already very good for black, I think. Maybe g6 wasn't correct. Maybe it was better for me to play h6, in fact. Yeah, maybe h6 with the idea of g5, but probably it leads to more or less the same position. I don't know how to convert it correctly. It feels like I have good chances here. Maybe it's just an illusion, I don't know. King f2, g6, alright, here, rook b2, c3, rook b6. Yeah, and I have no idea why didn't I play rook e8. That was possible. But my rook becomes quite passive, and probably there is a big problem to win. Rook c6, rook here, say king e3, c2, so what? Yeah, my rook is misplaced, I think. White can be even... No, I don't think white is better, but I think this position should be balanced more or less. So let's say g4. You know, check, king d2. Maybe rook somewhere here. g5 takes, king f7, takes on f4. Well, still some chances if white goes crazy, but in general, I already missed my main chances somewhere earlier. Okay, and well, definitely the last game today, the drunken lawyer, except Last game today. Let's play Sicilian. I don't know. I'm slightly tired of this e5 today. And in general, in my life. Alright. Alright. And now let me remember. Because I didn't play this position in serious practice. And as for Blitz, the last time I played it was probably 10 years ago. So knight c3, alright. Let's just play this way. And here I always play this bishop g4. As far as I remember, just fighting for e5 square. That was my main idea. Takes. Say e6. e5 isn't a threat, so I have the time for a6 move. Covering b5, now creating a threat of knight e5. Finally. But it would be nice just to complete the development. Okay. This one is not necessarily that dangerous, so I can play queen c7 or queen b8 even. So e5 is already a threat. Yeah, so let's go here. Protecting b7 and controlling e5 square additionally. Hard to play that without knowledge, but this move gives me a chance to play knight e5, and not a bad chance to be honest, because I grab one of white's bishops, either light squared one or dark squared one. Both look very good. Let's do it. Maybe I'm just missing something, but right now at the moment it looks quite good. So yeah, my pawn structure is no longer that great, but feels very safe. In general, I mean, this position feels very safe. The only thing that actually I don't really like about it is that I want to bring my bishop to c5, but right now I think it's too risky. However, okay, we can do it later, I guess. There was an interesting suggestion against bishop g4 just to play queen b3. Yeah, maybe it was great. Yeah, most likely it was great. Really. Yeah, without the pawn on a6, probably it's not a good idea to bring the bishop to g4. Maybe only after a6 it is possible. Right, because then queen b3 is not that dangerous, because if queen takes on b7, then knight a5 is possible. a6 covers b5. Yeah, correct. Queen b3 was a good move. All right, bishop b3. I think it's time to castle. Everything is under control, more or less. Knight is going to b6, right? Right. We can prevent it two ways, queen a7 or just b5. Queen a7 leads to rook c7, which is not very pleasant, but even this is playable for black. I can play bishop d8, forcing the rook somewhere, then b5, then bishop to b6. Yeah, maybe it's a good way to actually improve my position. So queen a7, stopping knight b6 of rook c7, bishop d8, rook somewhere, b5, knight somewhere, bishop b6. Kind of move by move, gaining tempi, one by one. Okay. This additional pawn e6 actually makes a big difference, right? Closing diagonal a2 g8, controlling d5 square, and so on. Alright, let's get rid of this rook. Just a one move threat it was. Now b5. That's what I wanted to do. And bishop to b6, so my knight controls d7. That's completely playable, I mean. And now bishop to d4, completing the mission, I hope. Very nice position now. So my bishop is much better than opponent's one. After g4, there is a weakness of dark squares as well. That may be quite annoying for white very soon. But first I have to deal with this red of g5 somehow. So there is a question to stop it, or to allow it, or just to counterattack like queen b7 maybe. Queen b7 looks good. But then rook e1, I don't know what to do next. Maybe knight e7. Alright, let's play queen b7. Just right now. Okay, now rook to c8, I guess. Looks very natural. Now it's time to improve my position somehow. Let's say this way. Let's continue. And rook to c2 looks natural. Less than 1 minute on the clock, but my opponent is in the same situation, so my chances are still higher. Okay. Let's go back for a while. Just to come back with the improved position. The other question is how to improve it. Okay, I guess this gives me some chances. Knight goes here. Queen takes here with check. For example, this move. Oh, that was a blunder. Knight takes e5 was strong. Yeah. Was really lucky by the end. Again, started misplaying the position. Seriously, like, you know. Queen h4. Just takes, and knight takes e5 now. Taking the pawn, bishop takes rook d8, checkmate. f3 is under control. Like, bishop c5 is probably the only move here, because the bishop is hanging, and okay, maybe there is a counterattack like f6 that saves the day. Takes, 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 rook c1, but bishop takes h7 check. Sorry, it doesn't save the day. It loses. So I have no idea. Maybe bishop c5 is the only move here. Because if knight f5, bishop f5. So bishop c5 here, bishop f8. Well, it's unclear. I mean, white has chances, really. But okay. So, thanks a lot for being with me. That was the last game. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I was actually playing much better than during last episodes. I lost only one game, as far as I remember, and made only one draw. The rest I simply won. So I will try to do the same next week. Well, I'm getting slowly to a better shape, and actually start playing faster a bit, which is a good sign. So I'm really happy about it. But I also hope that I gave you some new interesting, instructive information, maybe about some openings, maybe about some middle games, end games, and so forth. If you became even slightly better after this show, if you know even a bit more about chess, I think I actually did everything right. Wish you a good weekend and see you very soon. Premium members, don't forget, next Tuesday is once again the Training Tuesday. Bye bye.